Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.
It's so funny.
Such a good joke.
Starting the show crying, laughing. Oh my gosh. Oh. That's perfect. That's perfect. But I'm not going to reveal what we were talking about.
No.
I'm just going to start where I'm wiping.
Where we're just dying
tears,
of our joke.
tears out of my eyes.
I can't wait till the time comes when that little secret project that we've been working on
And
that
I
we
know.
can't do until we're done with Biofriendly.
Yes, we have to do it when the time is right. But the cool thing is that if you spend as much time as we have talking about it, the result is going to be world changing.
World changing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Or at least pretty funny.
Or pretty funny. Yeah. Or just like a really good show that people really enjoy. And they're like, hey, that was great.
That was pretty good.
And we're like, yeah, we know. We talked about it for 5 years. Oh, man. Well, hey, Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It's officially 2021.
We did it.
The first episode. Here. The first Biofriendly podcast of 2021. We started these in 2019.
No, we didn't.
Yes.
No.
We are coming up on our 2-year anniversary.
What?
Yes.
2 years?
Yes. 2 years. We'll hit it in March.
Really?
Yes.
That's bizarre.
Isn't that bizarre? It's kind of amazing.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
And when you think about the hours of us talking that is now available globally, it's kind
I
of
can't believe
mind-blowing.
how many people have been able to listen to our stream of consciousness
For this long.
for the like.
I
Right?
know.
It's absurd actually to think that you could say, all right, so we're going to teach people about the environment, and then you go out and make the mockery of it that we've done.
Yes, right? Just nothing but jokes and laughter at a very serious topic.
A very serious topic, and we
Right.
don't take it seriously at all.
No, it's ridiculous. We win awards.
I know people seem to like it. I don't quite understand
get
why.
it. I guess everybody needs to laugh.
But I'm glad we're back.
We are back.
I'm glad it's 2021.
Yes, I am too.
You know,
Everything's going to change now. You know that, right? Like all it took was just the new year, and then all the problems
New
they
Year,
go away.
all problems disappear.
Everything's open.
I am still approaching 2021 with like carefully.
I think you should.
I'm looking, around the corner. I'm not stepping too hard. I'm doing I'm kind of on my tippy toes.
Yeah,
I'm
watch
opening
your
doors
six,
very gently. Yeah. I don't want to startle 2021.
Yeah.
I don't want to make it think that I'm expecting anything or that I'm looking at just whatever, man.
Should we do everything very softly on this episode then? Just kind of very delicately?
This is the most delicate episode.
This is the most delicate episode.
of Biofriendly podcast in the history of.
We don't want to rock the boat.
No.
Don't rock the boat. That should be the slogan of 2021. Don't rock the boat.
That's our first time. That's our first call.
tag.
Tag.
Don't rock the boat.
Don't rock the. We're gonna forget it.
Yeah, we will.
100%.
They know that.
Guaranteed.
If you're just now tuning into the show and you've never heard us before and you decided in 2021 your New Year's resolution was to start listening to Green Podcasts and you chose us, congratulations. You chose the craziest environmental show that exists.
You did.
And we're referencing the tags that we have at the end of the show, which we're starting anew. We have the core one, and now the slate is blank.
And it'll be what it'll be.
Exactly.
And it'll be what it'll be.
Yeah.
And if that one sticks, then it sticks. And if it doesn't stick, then it wasn't meant to
Stick.
be.
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Agreed.
So, hey, do we have anything to talk about today, or is it
No.
just we're going to sit here and just gab?
I just figured we'd just sit here and gab. No, of course
Okay,
we
good.
have.
What?
Yeah, we have something.
Oh, we do?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What's happening?
This one was, so we were sitting there and trying to figure out like, okay, what could we talk about? And already within the first 5-6 days of the new year, the thing that comes up over and over again is fitness.
It sure does.
It comes up, everybody starts saying, New Year's resolutions, I'm going to get in shape, I'm going to start working out.
Eat well.
Yeah, and before this period in our lives, it was always notoriously the time where everybody goes back to the gym.
Yes,
like if you
this is when you sign up for the gym.
You sign up for the gym and you go to the gym and you're like, I'm going to do it. And then you go there and it's wall to wall with people. That's what happens every January up until now.
This year.
Yeah, this year it's not going to be that way, probably.
Well, it is in some places.
Some places they are probably like, hey, by all means, come work out.
Come on and get it going. But where we live.
Well,
we're still in our it's kind of, I don't want to say funny, but it's a little funny.
Yeah.
We thought that funny, like not funny, haha, but like funny, like
odd.
Wow, like how
unusual,
right?
right?
Like unexpected. Yeah.
I get you.
That way back when this whole thing started in California in particular,
Right.
It was like, okay, hey, California's on it. We haven't had the big spike. It's been okay. It's been good. Way to go.
We're locking down. We're putting on
best.
our masks.
We're doing so good.
Right.
And then it was that we opened up a little bit, and there were some protests, and there was some stuff that happened that sort of
Right.
got a few more people out and about.
Right.
And we had what we thought was the spike.
Right.
Like, oh no,
Yeah,
geez,
that was it.
we got to curl it back here. We made a mistake. We
Right.
got to cut. So then we stayed locked in. We
safe.
probably had like 2 weeks of relative freedom
Right.
before we were locked right back down again.
Right. Exactly.
And then we kind of got used to that, and then we got some slow improvement of conditions. Slow, right? Because it was still this crazy spike that we were dealing with.
Yeah,
And then
of
we
course.
thought, it's like, okay, well, all right, so we're at least getting used to it, and it's going to go away here pretty soon. 2021's coming, as we all know. 2021 is a new year.
Right.
And then like after the Halloween, and then we had the election,
Yep.
and then we had the election celebrations,
Yep.
and then we had the holidays. And
Here we are.
and then we found out what a real spike is.
Yeah, and now we're like, oh, okay. So, yeah, it seems like it's still going here, and we're still doing the
we're
precautions.
as locked down as ever, almost basically.
as we were.
Yeah,
And if you're listening to the show and you're going, hey, why do you guys get to do this and meet together and have a podcast? Well,
because we're better than you.
we're because he did.
That was my Ron
Swanson. I knew it was your Ron
We're
Swanson.
not better than you. I'm kidding.
We're part of a quarantine, man. We've figured it out where as long as we're together, we're not really going any other places and seeing any other people. So we're consistently doing our safety.
And when we do see other people, we spend 10 days apart.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, we quarantine.
So we do good.
Yep.
We do good.
Try to do it so we can still bring you the good quality live
the hits. Yes.
Without
risking our lives to do so.
Exactly.
So, but to your point, here we are. It is hard to believe that almost a year later, we're still in this situation, but I see a light.
We've never come out of lockdown.
Yes. I see a light at the end of the tunnel,
Yes.
and I want to share this before we get into our topic.
Yeah.
This is the new year.
It is.
I heard something on the radio, and I want to impart it on our audience
Okay.
because I think it made me smile.
Is this the K-Rock one?
Yes, this is the K-Rock
good.
one.
This is
So
good.
they were talking on K-Rock, and I think they were citing some articles or news reports they said, but studies have been said that, there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Things are going to go back to normal. We know that there's a vaccine and things are starting to get better.
Yes, anyone who listens to the Biofriendly podcast, and this is your reminder, by the way, if you haven't, there's this talk about the new strain in the UK and how there's all these new strains of COVID and they're more infectious.
Right.
They infect
Right.
more people and they're more. We go back to earlier podcasts, or I'll just do a quick reminder that's not a bad thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing. If the viruses become more efficient at survival.
Yes.
Okay, they become more efficient, which means that they are better at spreading and they're better at not killing their hosts.
Yes.
Those are the two things you want to do if you're a virus. You
Yes.
don't. It seems odd because we think of viruses as things that kill us. That's not their goal.
Yeah.
Their goal is to survive.
Yeah.
They don't. They want to be able to spread into everyone and not kill anyone, so they can continue to spread and
Right.
continue to survive.
Yeah.
So the coronavirus mutating so that it spreads better and gets weaker is a good thing.
Yes.
It's a good thing. Yes, it means more people get COVID. Yes. But it means it will kill less people.
Yes, exactly. And this came from, valuable sources of an ER doctor who was on our show. So we're not just making
and our chief
stuff up.
scientist.
Chief scientist.
We've checked this.
We've checked this. This is fact checked. So anyway, there's a lot of reason to be hopeful. Things are going to go back to normal soon. And
the vaccine should help. I know that there's and if you're nervous about the vaccine or afraid of that, then that's fine. I get that. I totally understand that. God, are we just doing a quick run on this?
Sure. I mean,
just a little bit of data about the warp speed, just so that you have it.
I find this is helpful. This is good.
Yeah, just so you have it.
Piece of news.
And again, if you still are nervous about it, we're not here to tell people go do things. We're just here to give you ideas. Okay.
Yeah.
So, but some data on how warp speed worked and why this vaccine got released so quickly, how we were able to get to it so fast, is that everything that you know about government work was completely flipped for this one project. So when you think of government, you think of, I wait in line at the post office forever.
I was at the DMV.
I'm the DMV until tomorrow.
Yes.
I send in my paperwork to get my new registration, and it will take
6 months.
6 months for it to come back.
Exactly.
I had to turn in this paperwork for my business, and I still haven't heard.
Right.
Right. So because government agencies, they work, they are on a very specific, strict union schedule. They are paid poorly.
Yes.
So they're not inspired to work long hours, and their union doesn't allow them to do extra work. Right. So it's like, there are some reasons why
things get held up.
That system doesn't work and things get held up. Okay.
Right.
And it goes slow. It takes a long time for them to get through the stack of 1 million papers to get to yours.
Right.
When it came to these vaccines, there was essentially a red flag, VIP treatment.
From the top to the bottom,
which said,
like, this goes to the top of the pile.
Always. So not only was every single document that had to be submitted looked at and approved the same day.
Yeah.
But anytime that there's a question on the document, instead of waiting by paperwork, which is normally what you do with government back and forth, where you're sending letters, we're on the phone discussing it, working it out in real time right now, fixing it, and then good. Now it's good. We're good. Go.
Yeah.
So that kept every single time you had to put in an application for a test, for a trial, right? If a time you had whatever it was. Everything was done for the patents. It was all done like immediately, as opposed to over months.
Yeah.
So a year of waiting was removed.
Yeah.
That is how one of the years was saved. On top of that, the United States military was put into action to help make this move faster. There was an example of one of the vaccines where there was something locked on a train that was stopped in the middle of Colorado that they needed in Washington like that day.
Yeah.
And they sent in the Air Force. They sent in choppers to pick up these ingredients, load it onto an Air Force plane, and get it there the same day. So like literally it was not only is the government not getting in your way, like there was actually government assistance to speed things up by weeks.
That doesn't happen with your passport when it's...
No.
You don't go like, my passport's supposed to be here, I leave for Spain tomorrow, and they're like, well, let's get the Air Force. That just doesn't happen for you.
Right. So this was literally like, it is whatever it takes to make this happen immediately, we're doing it. There is no red tape. There is nothing to slow down. There's no such thing as a reason why you can't do this. Yeah. And so years were taken off, basically, of nonsense in order to just get to the point of we have to do this.
Yeah.
They were trialed very aggressively. In fact, some of these even did double-blind trials, which you never usually do on vaccines. There was actually, in some cases, more trials done. Yeah. So, and again, we're not going to tell you go take a vaccine, but if you are worried about it, that's some data that you could possibly have.
Some good data.
Know that if your concern is that this one is different because it was rushed or whatever, there's some reasons why you'd be, and there's 100 other arguments that I can get into.
Sure.
But I'm not going to because this isn't that topic.
Right.
But I don't have a lot of choice because I have to travel a lot.
Yeah. When the ability to go, we travel.
Yeah.
So we're going to need to probably be vaccinated and safe to get out and about.
So if we die, then we'll tell you on the show. We'll come on the show and say, by the way, I'm dead.
Yes, that's what we will do. A very special ghost Biofriendly podcast.
Biofriendly podcast to let you know that we did make it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you shared that data and because data, however you say it. Data. I'm glad you shared it because, we are about kind of not only information, but uplifting and inspiring and making you feel like things are going to be okay. Because you get plenty of the headlines that kind of are trying to scare and make you feel like it's not going to be okay.
That's how you sell papers.
That's how you sell papers. But this show, we're not focused on selling anything, so we're just going to tell you the truth.
Yeah. Yep.
But we, the good piece of information I was going to share from K-Rock was they were talking about how we are headed for a roaring 20s again. Like there is going to be an ongoing party in the world once things open up again. It's going to be a state of celebration all around the world.
I mean...
And I'm looking forward to that.
That's rad.
That's pretty rad, right?
So you're saying just confetti in the streets?
Confetti in the streets, like it's just going to be...
Upside down champagne bottles.
Absolutely.
On
Lake
Avenue.
Yes. Everywhere. It's going to be... They just think that, you take... The world's population and you tell us we can't go outside and with all these limitations, so that once the doors are open again, that there's going to be a lot more like hey, how you said we said we close normally at 1:30 to 2. Yeah, we're not going to do that anymore. We're going to stay open all night. There's just going to be businesses and laws will probably be a little bit relaxed about
because
what
the
people
cops
can do.
will also be drunk.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So that's something to look forward to. There's a lot of good research and studies being done for the vaccine to help us get out there, and then also we're probably headed for a big global party for the next few years.
Also, on top
great.
of and beyond just what you get from the vaccine, the fact that there's been a spike of this size and that this many people every time somebody gets the disease and then survives it, and that helps
it too.
That's better than a vaccine.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So just time passing and people catching it, so long as it's, thankfully lately it's been younger people who've been catching it, right? And when younger people get it, that's better because they survive it. Right? They handle it with usually, now obviously there's unfortunate circumstances where it doesn't work out that way. But usually when a person between 20 and 30, which is mostly who's getting it now, 20 and 40, I guess.
Yeah.
When they catch it, they get through it with very, very little negative effects. They just sort of
and that's good that we
they
can
get
just
a little bit sick and then they get better.
get it in the system and get it out and get it gone.
So this will help, and then we'll have our Roaring 20s.
Yeah.
And then I don't want to talk about what happens after that.
Right. We don't want to talk about what happens when the whole world spends everything. But what we will do is we're going to get into today's topic. Oh, look at that. The battery is stuck to the magnet on
This battery is magnetic.
magnetic in my case. My beautiful, sleek, sophisticated case. Well done. There he goes.
I'm throwing batteries.
He's throwing
around the
batteries at our other employee. Sorry, Robert.
Robert's the new guy.
Is
He
he intern?
Yeah.
I think he's quitting. Okay, he's quitting.
He's done. What? No, we're kidding.
We're kidding.
Robert.
Come back. We are going to get into today's
No
subject.
more throwing batteries at interns.
No more throwing batteries at interns.
Okay.
I've told you this before.
You have said this before. You've mentioned it.
Yeah.
And I didn't learn.
Yeah. Well, today you learned your lesson.
Probably.
We're going to talk about fitness and trying to fitness subjects.
Pizza in my mouth.
I was going to say there's a fitness pizza in my mouth. We're going to talk about that because, one thing I mentioned gyms up top and, obviously they're not as open, but when I was looking through about fitness and the whole sustainability element, it's interesting because how
I'm sore, Jacob.
you're sore.
I'm sore.
Why are you sore?
Is that what you're trying to get to?
Yes. I was trying to say. Well, actually, my first question was, how profitable do you think the gym and fitness business is? How much money do you think it makes a year?
I think it's
before coronavirus.
I think it was pretty good.
It was
because
good?
it was a racket.
It is a racket.
Let me explain this racket to you. It's for those of you who are thinking of joining a gym.
I'll tell you the figure.
Yeah, tell me.
$30 billion.
Oh my God.
$30 billion business a year. So,
my God.
Yeah.
Wow. Well,
Yeesh.
look. If you are serious and dedicated to the concept of being fit,
Yeah.
and you know what you're doing with
Yeah.
the equipment, that's another thing.
Yeah.
Like knowing what you're doing with the equipment is a big deal.
It is.
Because most people don't. They go to the gym and then they kind of walk around lost trying to do what the app is telling them to do on the machines, and
Right.
and then somebody yells at you because you've taken over their machine, and
Yeah.
then you don't know it, and you look like you're from another country.
Yeah, right. Because you don't
you're
know
so
how this
confused.
thing works. Yeah.
Yes, and then you feel like a jerk, and then you go home and you never go back to the
you
gym.
never go
again.
back to the gym.
That's a percentage of people. You
Yeah.
know? And then there's, but if you're serious about it and you know what you're doing, then a gym is a great investment.
Yeah.
Right.
It is.
But they don't make their money on those people.
Yeah.
They make their money on the
people who sign up
because
and then
I'm going to get fit.
never come back.
And they get it in a contract and they pay every month for a year or two.
I know.
And never go.
And I speak from experience on this because, one of the good things, here's a positive thing. The gym trend before lockdown was moving towards more boutique, smaller studios, which was great.
Remember you and I were going to go do that Orange Theory thing?
Yes, we were going to do the Orange Theory.
Yeah, we're going to,
Yeah.
or like that, what is the number one, the something 84 or something?
Yeah, yeah.
There's a couple things we're going to go.
We were going to go
together.
and do it together. And those.
We were going to have great butts.
We were going to have fantastic butts,
Yeah.
those were on the rise.
Yes.
What we're talking about more are the big chains. I won't mention any of them, but like the big fitness center chains.
Yes.
I, from experience, had in my 20s gone in, and it was literally like you could not believe the amount of money that you had to put down
Yes.
to join. And then the payments and just being locked into a contract, it always put a bad taste in my mouth about gyms because you did feel like you were being coerced into this thing that you go, I may have time for it, I may not. And so that always made me feel uncomfortable. But it seems that modern gyms and where we're headed is they're moving towards this smaller scale,
and you get a coach,
and you get a coach, and you get some help.
That's the thing. Like
that's great.
When you go to a gym, more than knowing how to use the machines, how much should I be using the machines? Like what's the program here? What are we doing? And I these newer kind of boutique things, these little camps, these little where they give here's the equipment, here's the system, here's what we're doing. Those are great. And you pay for your 8 weeks of class or 8 months of class or whatever you're going to do. And you go and someone teaches you how to do it. And then you get yoked.
And then you get that information and you take it with you.
You go to the Roaring 20s with your shirt off.
Yes, that's the plan.
Yeah.
We can't go into the Roaring 20s until I lose a lot of weight.
I'm not going into the Roaring 20s until I'm in my bikini body.
Exactly. I've got to get into my bikini body again.
Yes.
But I think that the gym businesses were headed in the right direction in terms of these new smaller things, and that's great. Yes. And some of the things that we're going to talk about today are some of the technologies and things that are available. But before we get into that, why are you sore?
Because I started the beach body workout.
You did.
I am getting my bikini body.
You are. I want to hear about it.
I did. My wife is a very fit human being.
Yes.
And takes care of her body.
Yes.
And I go on streaks of taking care of my body.
I go streaking.
And you're great at streaking. You're great at streaking. And I go on streaks of fitness pizza in my mouth.
Yes, fitness
right?
pizza.
And I've been getting better and better and better at having my streaks of being healthy last longer.
Right.
And my streaks of pizza to be shorter.
Right.
Mostly because she reminds me, that she ain't going to stick around if I don't keep making this look good.
Totally.
Right?
Totally.
She doesn't really say that. But
got to keep that dad
It's
bod.
implied. But anyway, she has all these, she was prepared for lockdown. She had
programs
the
and things.
And yes, classes and things. And she's got gear and stuff and whatever. So, it's New Year.
Yeah.
And in the new year, you just get through Christmas and it's the natural thing to say, I'm going to eat well and I'm going to work out.
Totally.
So I have been eating well and I have started working out.
Yeah.
I get up at 6:30 in the morning, which is early enough I know some people do earlier, but for me, that's early enough.
Yeah.
And I go rollerblading.
And you're great at that. We learned with our boxed water that you are a rollerblade aficionado.
I am a rollerblade aficionado.
I love it.
I'm a total nerd.
Yeah.
I look great in my helmet, my knee pads.
You do look great.
But I do. I rollerblade uphill. I go as far up as I can, and then I kind of work my way down and have fun on the way
awesome.
home. So I do that one day, and then the next day I do my beach body workout so that I can get my beach body abs.
Yeah, sure.
And have my great butt that we're talking about.
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
The problem is I just started.
You did just start. And that's the hardest part of getting in shape is the first few weeks.
Yes.
Month.
Yes.
It's tough.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because it hurts.
Yeah.
You're not strong enough to do everything right. So I'm always doing the modified thing and I feel like a jerk.
You're reminding me that I have that in store, by the way. Because I haven't even started, but I'm realizing I've got to get started and I know it's going to be the hard start.
Yeah. Hard start.
Hard start.
But on the bright side, I'm doing it. I'm in it. I'm on it.
Yeah.
I'm on it.
There was a thing that I remember reading that Arnold Schwarzenegger had written on a forum. Somebody asked him and said, what can I do because I keep getting burnt out and I keep starting and stopping? And his advice was, first of all, go easy on yourself. Don't beat yourself up.
Advice.
He was like, and it's all about one thing a day. He was like, get to a place where if you do a push-up in one day, be proud of yourself. If you go for a little short walk, be proud of yourself. Keep encouraging and patting yourself on the back. And he was letting this guy know, you can't sit there and be like, I have to be hitting the gym every single day and doing amazing. It's about making you want to do it. And if you should feel good if you rolled out of bed and you did a sit-up. You did something. So that came from Schwarzenegger, and the guy knows what he's talking about. So
that guy is Conan.
He is. He's Conan. He is a commando. He is
he killed the Predator.
Yeah, he killed the Predator.
He was both the bad Terminator and a good Terminator.
Exactly. Both.
Both.
Yes.
I mean, he knows. That guy is pure strength.
pure strength.
And he was Mr. Universe, right?
Mr. Universe, and he was Mr. Governor. And
Mr. Governator?
Governator.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was encouraging, because for me to talk about streaks,
Yes.
I have the tendency to go on streaks as well, but my streaks are longer in one way or the other. That's
Okay.
what happens to me.
Okay.
Is what happens is I used to do triathlons. I used to train year after year after year. And I would go on these long spans where I would be in great shape and doing good. And then what happens is I totally burn myself out and I go the other way. And I spend a long time in the other way and not taking care of fitness pizza and just not caring. And then when it's time to get started again, I'm like, I really dug myself so far in this hole.
Such a deep hole.
That this is going to be a long journey out. I just wish that I could make my oscillations swing a little less dramatically. And I wish I could. My goal for myself is to get in shape and have the fun a little bit.
Here's what we're going to do.
What are we going to do?
We're going to take it easy,
We're going to take it easy.
but we're going to take it real.
Okay. We're going to get real.
We're going to get real.
Okay.
We're going to find the zone, both of us. We're going to find whatever that zone is
Yes.
where we can keep a general level of health and fitness
I like it.
without giving everything away.
Yes. Yes. That's what I want.
That's what we're going to do.
I want
So we
that.
might not get as beautiful as we did when we were streaking,
Right.
but over time,
Right.
we're going to be great,
think so.
and we're going to stay there.
And I got to say that you and I together, when we were in lockdown, it was a lot harder because you were at home all the time, and I would go on walks. But when we're together, working on the show and getting the things together, we do have the tendency to grab lunches that are healthier, and we go
do.
for walks to work out stuff.
We work in a great. We're giving you too much information for the.
It is. I know.
We work in a great place. There's salads everywhere.
There's salads.
Right here.
It's Southern California. You can surrounded by good, healthy food.
Yeah, and we're right here in particular.
And the weather is great all year. And so we can go on these great long walks to figure out problems and ideas and things that we're figuring out. So
we're going to be great.
we're going to be great.
Yeah.
But let's dig into some of the subjects about the gym in general that people can do.
Okay, are we going to get into that environmentalism or something?
Yeah. We're going to get into
let's do
sustainability.
Let's do it.
Well, first of all, one of the things that people think about often is they think about like, well, why can't human beings power the gym itself? I mean, if we're all hamsters in a cage
Oh my God.
and we're running, in these machines and stuff, why can't we just power the gym?
So
right?
so every time you push the machine,
It's charging, right? That's a great idea.
we're a bunch of hamsters.
But there's a huge problem.
Yeah.
There's a huge problem.
Yeah.
Humans don't generate that much power.
We suck.
We suck. and I don't mean to say that to discourage anybody, but here's a perfect example.
That's hilarious.
There was somebody who asked, he's asked this question, said, why doesn't everybody, why doesn't every gym have nothing but equipment that powers the place? And the answer was basically, most of the exercise equipment in a typical gym doesn't generate electricity, and equipment is the biggest part of any gym's capital investment.
Yes.
But the problem with humans doing it is the payout will be depressingly low. Even if the idea, put that energy to use, is kind of cool. If you get generated electricity with that stationary bike, you could conceivably get 100 or 200 watts for as long as someone rides it. But generation isn't the whole story. It's just the start. Where will this intermittent power go? So it's only happening right there. But if you have nowhere to store it,
Yeah, you got to put it in a battery.
you got to put it in a battery. So that means that the gym now has to invest in brand new equipment and battery and storage systems. So that's complicated, right? And so they had an example. They said an Olympic track cyclist, there's this clip online, to generate enough power to operate a typical toaster for a minute, and that's all he could. He literally throttled that bike so hard to toast a piece of toast, and he was gassed. He was done.
Wow. How long did it say how long he was working?
So it says, let's see if I can find the actual thing.
So basically, while the toaster was going, he was
riding.
powering it. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Got it.
And so that was about all that he had to give. And he was an Olympic cyclist. Like by the time he was done, he was like, "How's the toast?" They're like, "Just
It is so tasty.
so good."
Crunch. It's just really good.
So we
Crunch.
just don't generate. Human beings don't. We just don't make enough power. Now, so since that time, there's been all these companies that are coming up with new ideas, and there was a company that I found along the way that was called it was called Verde Bikes, I think. Okay, these human-powered treadmills might just be the energy solution of the future. So these sports art Verde treadmills, these are manually powered.
Right.
So actually, there's no electrical component.
Instead
You're powering
of it going and then you're trying to keep up with it, you are moving it.
Yes.
Okay.
And so that was a solution that they found.
Yep.
And so if you were able to fill a gym with that, you might actually be able to create a lot of energy to store, which would be cool. But we're just not. There's a reason why we gave power generation to animals, water, machines, because humans just can't keep up with that.
Yeah. Well, look, it's the old classic analogy, right? Well, like as we are, humans are the least energy efficient animal on the planet.
Yeah.
And the most energy efficient animal, I think, is a hawk. It's a bird of some kind. I think it's a hawk.
I thought you were going to say horse,
No, it's a bird.
like workhorse. It's a hawk.
Yeah, I think so.
So we should be driving cars on hawk power.
Well, it's just that they're the way they move their body, they're just the most energy efficient.
Most energy
right?
efficient. Yeah.
But but here's the thing about humans: if you put a human on a bike, now the human has now become the most energy efficient,
Because it's
animal
using
on
a
Earth.
tool.
Right.
Right.
So I think that if you want to have a human power something, you just have to use better technology in order to get more power out of every step.
Right.
Right. Like right now we haven't really fashioned equipment
Yeah.
to meet the demands of walking. I'm sure that you probably could, and I don't think it's worth it.
Yeah.
Honestly.
Yeah.
But if someone actually was like, well, this is the only way we can power the planet is by treadmills, then we could probably come up with a better way to get electricity out of the treadmill than we currently have.
Yeah.
Because we're not basing it around human walking. We're
Exactly.
basing it around turbines that are getting energy from, like you said, water.
Exactly. So that's the problem with human-powered energy, is that we just don't. Our bodies can't run as long as these other
basically anything.
As anything. And so that it's a problem. But there are people that are trying to figure it out, because there were other treadmills that they tried to have before this that generated power. And I think even now in a lot of modern gyms, at least I've heard of, while you're biking, while you're running, it says you've just stored this much energy. Like that technology is starting to exist. It's you've just charged this battery here that we're using in this gym in this state-of-the-art facility. Yeah. So it's happening. It's just they haven't figured out how to make it really make a lot of sense. So until then, these more boutique-y gyms that are opening up instead of these massive ones that make you pay a ton. Sorry, I just burped on the air. I'm so sorry.
Gross.
That's so gross. These modern gyms that are coming out are starting to find ways to become, zero waste, like energy efficient in terms of their lighting.
Yeah.
One thing that's a big problem, of course, at gyms is bottled water.
Yeah.
So it's just about offering or selling or having something in the place that is a reusable container that you can use with fountains and things like that. So they're not having bottled water. Yeah. The things that they use to wipe down equipment, using rags that you bleach instead of having just paper, just disposable wipes. The mats, the equipment. So I'm if you're currently going to a place, because I know there are places that are offering workout spaces with safety precautions and whatnot, just, kind of check your place out and see what they're doing. And maybe you could even bring up to the person who runs the gym about certain things that might be able to cut their carbon footprint down a little bit in terms of what they're offering now. I know it's a sensitive time for businesses, though. Like, they're all just trying to stay afloat. So it's not an easy time to change things.
I think we should see what comes out of the new administration. I have a feeling that there's going to be a lot of grants and a lot of
programs.
Probably some opportunities for some of these businesses to invest in options that are more green. And hopefully that works out for gyms too. We'll see. I mean, that seems to have been a focus on the campaign trail anyway. So we'll see if that works out. At least
I think
in the
you're
US,
probably right. I think you're probably right. But there are companies out there that are doing really cool stuff. Because being a $30 billion industry, there's a ton that goes into working out, or at least that we are kind of told that you have to have workout clothes.
Yeah.
workout equipment.
Yeah.
All of this stuff is there's just stuff that's made all the time. So there was this company called
Spanx.
Spanx.
Because I'm not going out there unless I already look great.
I know. Absolutely.
So I wear my Spanx underneath my...
I am head to toe Spanx right
I'm all
now.
Spanx.
That's where I'm wearing a sweater and long pants as I'm covering up all the Spanx that I'm wearing.
Of course you are.
If I let this go, it's just like...
Then you see what we really look like. We're basically balloons. We're water balloons.
Gosh. So there was this company that started. This would be good for our friend James Prebum, the surfer guy,
the Echo Warrior.
Yes, the Echo Warrior. This was a guy who was taking surfers' wetsuits and turning them into yoga mats. Isn't that kind of cool? And the name of the company is Suga, combining the words surf and yoga. SUGA.
Soof and Yurga.
Soof and Yurga. Combining the words sooth and yogurt. Suga.
To make a completely unrelated word.
Yes. Yeah. So Suga. When I first read it, I thought it was Suga.
Suga.
Because it was SUGA, and I was like, Suga.
How often does that happen to people, right? We're like, I got this great idea to combine this word, and I'm going to make this, and they're like, Suga?
Yeah, exactly. Like when he made the company, he was thinking it's perfect. Surf, yoga, it's Suga. And when everybody who reads it is like, so you work for Suga. What do you do? Huh? Like sell East Coast sugar? We got sugar. You want some sugar? So that's a company. And then there's a company out of the UK that's doing, their entire idea is the green micro gym. And so the whole idea is helping you set up everything in your gym from being, energy efficient
in your own home,
and opening up like facilities. Okay. Yeah. But in your own home. By the way, Peloton bike sales went through the roof in 2020.
Really?
Yeah. That fancy bike those sales went out like crazy, and so did regular bikes.
Oh,
because people were like, well, I need to do something.
I can't just sit in my home all day.
Yeah.
It's great.
Yeah. And there was this gym that I read an article about, and a lot of people who are nervous about the coronavirus and being out, because gyms were always lumped in with restaurants and bars as being like the same level.
Right.
And this person came out and they were like, that's not really fair, because gyms are very different than restaurants and bars, because the entire purpose of a restaurant and bar is to be social and to interact with other people. Whereas a gym, while there might be a social aspect that comes into it, for the most part, you've been to a gym. Everybody's kind of like laser focused on what they're there to do.
Yeah.
And so
I feel like that could backfire on that person, though.
You think so?
I do, because I think if you make that argument, say we want our own category, we want our own thing, that they'll start to say, you drop liquid everywhere.
That's true.
You breathe heavy everywhere you go.
It's true. You are gasping for air.
You are gasping for air. You are grabbing for water.
And you are sweating.
You are using equipment that someone else is going to use in 2 minutes, and who's going to sanitize it.
Yeah.
I feel like that backfires big time.
I love it. I'm glad you shared that, because when I read it, I was like, oh, interesting take. But you're right. I mean, there's so many factors. You don't go to a restaurant or a bar out of breath, soaked in sweat, and leaning on everybody's table going,
sharing benches.
I mean, that's how I go to the bar. Oh, yeah. That's how I go.
I mean, but you're a really good bar goer.
I am a bar goer.
You go all out.
In some ways, that's my gym.
Yeah. You lift and drink and
lift and drink and lift and drink. But anyway.
But I get. I mean, I think everyone right now, every business owner right now is probably coming up with why they probably should be open.
Everybody's got an excuse for why they should still be functioning.
I think everybody wants to be open. It's funny. My daughter's a gymnast.
Yeah,
and for a while the gyms like those gyms were being lumped in with other regular gyms.
Yeah,
and that was and that one I thought. She had, the coach had a better argument that, well, okay, so we have organized pods of classes that we schedule out, we observe, we watch, we put them through very specific activities.
Yeah.
And then they leave, we sanitize it, we bring in the next pod. We know exactly which pod is where, we know exactly who the parent, we know, like, we can trace, we can
Hold your calls.
Hold your calls, please. We can keep the, we can keep the equipment clean because we can set our own schedules. It's not just people coming in and out. She's like, it's totally different. And we're providing a daycare service for people who need to go to work.
Yeah.
And I was like, that's a much more well-founded argument. And actually, I think that they've, at least in most of the states, I think they've actually put them kind of in more of a daycare category because of what they're doing, which is good.
Which is good.
But
Which is fair.
it's a weird world out here right now. People have got to, lots of people trying to figure out, how can I survive? How can I keep this thing open? How can I make it work? I'm pretty impressed by how clever people have been in staying clean and making things work. Following guidelines, making great rules. I mean, it's pretty interesting. And you asked a question a couple of days ago that I think is worth asking again, which is, how long will this last? How long will this kind of care we take with both keeping ourselves clean, washing our hands, wearing masks, giving some space between each other. Like, I wonder how long that goes. It'll be interesting to see.
Well,
I mean, when the Roaring 20s happens,
the Roaring 20s, I know
we're going to be slobbering all over each other.
But the thing is another good fact that I heard was that the flu season has been the record lows, and we've gone full weeks where it's been 0 cases because everybody has figured out, like, I need to wash my hands way more. And they're not, most of us are wearing masks, and so that's keeping it contained. So the flu season has been low. So there are good things that we can take from this. I'm not saying we have to go forward in a world of masks, but giving somebody personal space is a nice thing to do.
Washing the amount of people who didn't wash their hands is shocking to me.
Shocking. I have worked in many jobs, and in all of those jobs, you would have a moment where you would be in the bathroom and you would be washing your hands, and you would see somebody just beeline for the door, and you'd be like, who raised you? What went wrong in your life that you would think that's okay?
Yeah.
So we're hoping that this will change the way people think about hygiene and cleanliness.
If this one habit change got rid of, removed the flu.
Right. And that people just knew during that season to be very safe.
How amazing would that be? You did that for if just this every year, people did that, and then the flu eventually just went the way of, polio.
That'd be amazing. That'd be amazing. So these are the things that I think that are interesting questions about the distance and the safety. So before we wrap things up, I just wanted to say that there are groups out there, and if you're not comfortable with being in a gym, or you don't want to pay for something right now and you don't even know, there's a group out of the UK called the Conservation Volunteers, and they've created the Green Gym, which is all outside. It says green gyms are fun and free outdoor sessions where you will be guided in practical activities such as planting trees, sowing meadows, and establishing wildlife ponds. Unlike other conservation projects, the emphasis is very much on health and fitness. Volunteers warm up and cool down in preparation for a range of light to vigorous activities to suit all abilities.
So they're doing the Rocky IV.
Yeah. They're training out in the world.
Going out into the colds of Russia.
Yes.
And they're
doing
planting trees, chopping wood.
I love it. Yes. That's how. So that is something that I'm going to encourage people who are listening who, you don't have access to a place that's a safe, fitness environment. There is a lot of working out that you can do in your home, outside. If you live in a place that the climate is good. Obviously, if you live in Chicago, it's not a great time to go for an outdoor run. It's very cold, but there are a lot of things that you can do in your home, from just basic kind of, general movements and things like that. Yeah. The push-ups, the sit-ups.
Do you know what I want back? What? Do you remember the Wii, the Nintendo
Oh,
Wii?
I miss the Wii so much. The original Wii, pre-Wii U.
The original Wii.
Yeah.
Now, I think that the Switch has some aspects of this, but the original Wii, they you could get a little board,
I had
jump board thing.
I had it.
And they had exercise things, they had balance stuff, they had all these different games you play with your arms, you're moving around.
It was awesome.
I loved that thing, and it actually did.
Yeah.
Give me some workout just playing games with the kids.
It was so fun.
It's awesome.
When that came out, and that really was something that even if the Switch does a little bit of it, I think that not a lot of people would even know that, right?
Yeah,
like,
because it isn't marketed that way.
It's not
Like,
marketed that way.
Nintendo is onto something with the Wii,
that.
and I feel like they've got to they got to go full throttle on that.
They got to bring it back.
Yeah,
they got to bring it back. I agree because when I had the Wii, we had a skiing game where you would stand on the pad, you go back and forth. We did the Wii Fit where you would get on and you would build your profile and it would say how much you weighed and then it would let you know.
Noel, you are 63 years old.
Yeah, right. Or I would get on it and then I would miss a long time and then the notice was always like, it's been a long time.
It's been a long time.
The guilting from the Wii.
It's been a minute.
But anyway, so I'm encouraging all of you in this new year. Health and fitness is a huge part of just feeling kind of a good mental headspace as well.
Yeah.
It's been scientifically proven time and time again that if you're eating well and you are getting some cardiovascular and working that blood and really oxygenating your body, it's going to help your mood. It's going to help you.
And in an environment where there's disease running around the place, I mean, do you want to go into a fight with that disease with a body that has been tuned up, is in good shape, is operating in tip-top condition?
That's what you want.
Or do you want to go into that in pizza mode?
Yeah.
I mean, that's if you look at the environment that we're living in right now, I mean, it's another good excuse to sort of be like, well, it's probably more than one reason to look good. Yeah,
because I know that my body starts to, when I've really gotten away from fitness and I'm really eating junk food, I just don't feel good a lot of the time. Yeah. Like I feel lower. I feel less motivated. Yep. I get kind of, lazy. And then also my health isn't that great. I find myself more susceptible to, problems and allergies and reactions to things. So plague. Yeah. I've been trying to kick this plague for the year. Yeah. But I just, and I know that it's hard. It is hard. Like Noel talked about, he's sore. He's getting up early in the morning and it is hard. But just stick to it.
Get the rhythm.
Yeah. Remember what Schwarzenegger said? Just like one thing a day is you're on the right path. So I'm giving you a virtual high five from the Biofriendly podcast to come on. Great hustle out there. Great hustle.
That was the virtual high five.
Is there any closing thoughts that you have before we end this health and fitness?
I was thinking about creating energy with humans, and I feel like the as much as it wasn't. I mean, I think that it needed improvement, but the soccer ball. Yeah. I think that if we're
What's
gonna,
that?
I feel like I've talked about it on the show. It's a soccer ball that's got a little.
Remind me.
It's got like a little turbine in it that bounces around.
You have talked about it on the show, but I forgot.
And it creates energy. So they sell them in Africa, and then kids will play soccer during the day for a couple hours, and they can take that, and then they can plug an LED light in it, and it lights up for the whole night. Yeah. Right? Because you can it's got a little tiny battery in it, and it generates energy. Yeah. It's a good little deal.
It's a great idea.
But I think that if you're like having a human run on a treadmill is a pretty inefficient way to get energy out of a human. Whereas like a human kicking a ball and then the ball traveling along the ground and spinning around and rolling that is you letting the ball and gravity and other things do the energy with it. Which Smart. Is part of the reason why running water works is because gravity's doing it anyway. You're actually taking energy from gravity. Yeah. Right? From the earth that way. So it's like you let something else do the work as well, and then you're getting way more out of it.
What if we hooked up like an electric device to people who are going down the luge? Because you're not working that hard, but you're going fast, and so by the time you're done, that'd be supercharged.
That'd be supercharged.
You come out of that thing, power a city.
Yeah, with the luge power.
I'm gonna start pitching that on Shark Tank. You take people and you throw them in the luge, and you could power a city. They're like, why do you have access to a luge? Not many people have access to that type of thing. So, anyway.
And how much money are you paying the people who have to take their luge all the way up the top of the hill?
Right. Exactly.
And go power your.
Exactly. I was just trying to find a way of like pushing humans downhill because that's minimal effort, a lot of friction, and lots of energy is being generated against the earth itself if you're going downhill. Right.
Absolutely. Yeah. I think you're generating a lot of energy on the way down. Yeah. I think that inspiring the staff to use the amount of energy required to come back up the hill is probably
gonna
where
be our
you're
part.
going to have trouble.
What about skis? Could you hook something up to people on skis?
I mean, you could do all that stuff.
Let's do it.
But the problem again is like the energy
yeah.
taking the person up the hill. Like you have to get them. So you either, and the only way that makes sense is you use the human energy to walk up it.
Right.
Because otherwise you're wasting energy on like a chairlift or on like something.
And
right?
it's all going nowhere.
Yeah, that's the.
Wow, humans are dumb.
Well, we're just. I mean, we're brilliant. We're
brilliant. It's just these so inefficient sometimes.
we are.
We're very inefficient beings.
Yeah.
But
we're only good because we have brains. Remember that, people.
Yeah, remember that.
Your only useful tool is your brain. The rest of you is worthless.
And I'll always love ending a Biofriendly podcast, especially at the top of the year, on a real upbeat note. You know, these are all jokes, and we're all kidding. But that's it. That's our health and fitness.
All right, it was a great one.
I thought it was really good.
That was really good. Yeah, it was great.
I think it's a great way to kick off the year.
So I think that let's just I've already forgotten what the
I remember it.
Is it good? Do we want to keep it?
I'm going to mention it to you, and you tell me if it works. Don't rock the boat. Does it? It feels kind of like a common phrase. It doesn't feel unique enough to us.
No, it's got to be. A good biofriendly podcast one is a little bit
weird,
odd.
Yes.
Yeah, a little stupid.
It's funny, like you were talking about earlier. Not ha ha funny, but
yeah.
That's what we like to do. So I'd say it doesn't make the cut this time. Okay. Was there anything else that was said that was really
no?
Yeah, nothing.
No. Nah. I think we just started off with the classic.
I love it. So, would you like to say it?
You've got it.
You sure?
You put all the work in to figure out what the hell we were going to talk about. You should say the word.
Okay.
What the heck were you going to talk about? I'm so sorry.
We are the award-winning Biofriendly podcast, and we are your beacon of light in a gloomy environment.
Thank you for coming, everybody. And thank you for listening. And tell your friends.
Tell your friends.
And review us on iTunes.
Review us on iTunes and share and post and be like, in the new year, I know there's somebody in your life that probably could hear some of these.
That could be like, I wish I could be green. I wish I knew what to do. And you could be like, hey, this is the best way to find out.
Yeah.
And then send them over.
Look in the subject because we pretty much touched on anything you could think of off the top of your head and more. So if you wanted to share one of these, there's probably a topic that is relevant to somebody that, that would be interested in hearing about it. So please do that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye! It's the Biofriendly Podcast. It's the Biofriendly Podcast.